You have to feel for those parents. It's not going to bring these kids back, but maybe some vindication for them today.
I think so. Obviously, as we've been talking about all week, this is a case that does have national implications. And now I think parents out there watching this, guilty on all counts. You're going to have to start looking at your kids. TikTok, your kids, text messages, your kids, what they're watching on television. And certainly don't buy them a gun if they have any kind of either mental illness, depression, etc. Listen, a lot of people were hoping for this verdict. Honestly, the jury was only out a day and a half. And in the grand scope of things, that's not really a long time. Generally, that does help the prosecution. And in this case, it did. Now, it was a packed courthouse, I'll say today, with media from around the country, as well as court watchers and victims, including Craig Schilling, who did talk a little bit after the verdict. But let's recap a little bit about what happened and watch Jennifer Crumbley's reaction when the jury said guilty. Take a look.
We find the defendant guilty of involuntary manslaughter.
Jennifer Crumbley's hand touches her face in disbelief, but other than that, no emotion, as 4 guilty verdicts were read Tuesday afternoon.
Jury seat number 3, is that your verdict?
Yes.
6 men, 6 women, most who own guns and most who are parents, only took a day and a half to come up with the unanimous verdict.
All rise for the jury.
It's definitely a step toward accountability, like what we've been talking about.
Craig Schilling, Justin Schilling's father, was present every day during this trial.
I mean, everything about that was disturbing. There's a lot of stuff that could have easily thwarted this whole thing. It could have been stopped very easily.
I asked Craig Schilling what would he say to Jennifer Crumbley right now, and he looked around, he said, I just can't say that on television. Now, he will get a chance to speak at sentencing. The judge set the sentencing for April 9th. Jennifer Crumbley's looking at up to 15 years in prison, although there will be guidelines on manslaughter. I haven't done the math yet, but it's certainly upper 10, probably close to about 10 years. So the sentence would be roughly 10 to 15 years in prison. There's a gag order in this case. We did try to talk to Karen McDonald. She really couldn't talk. Shannon Smith, the attorney for Jennifer Crumbley, also, although in the courtroom, but again, she couldn't talk because of the gag order. And the gag order remains in effect until James's trial. That's the husband, James Crumbley, will go on trial in a couple of weeks. Now, some people were saying that James Crumbley was the one that bought the gun. So at this point in time, James Crumbley, if he's in the Oakland County Jail right behind me, he's watching this verdict of guilty for arguably less implication with regard to the criminal activity. He might be thinking plea. I don't know if they'd offer a plea, but we'll have to see. As far as an appeal goes, it is a possibility. Likely Jennifer Crumbley will appeal. There are some appellate issues, technical issues, but nevertheless, the jury spoke today. And to be honest, it's really hard to undo a jury verdict. I am live outside the Oakland County Courthouse. Taryn, I'll send it back to you.
And curious about sentencing, Charlie, and certainly because James Crumbley still has to go on trial, could they perhaps, the judge, maybe make her sentence maybe a little less than, or you said the guidelines, it would have to be up to 10 years. Could she get maybe perhaps 2 years off for being time served at this point? I mean, what are some of the circumstances with that?
Well, so what they'll do is right now they'll have a pre-sentence report. So there'll be experts that go in there. They will assess different factors, including her past criminal record, which is 0, none. And then, but the problem in this case, though, the victims here, we have 4 dead teenagers murdered, and she is guilty now of manslaughter, contributing to those deaths. So I haven't done the math yet, but I would suspect it's going to be high. Anyway, the lawyers will argue the guidelines, and obviously the defense will want them low, prosecutor will want them high, probably somewhere in the middle. I don't know what the judge is going to do on this case. But in Michigan, though, it'll be whatever the guideline is, the bottom number, and then it'll be up to 15 years. So theoretically, Jennifer Crumbley could spend 15 years in prison. Remember, she has to serve the minimum of whatever that bottom number is, and then she'll be eligible for parole. And if she's a bad prisoner, she may do 15 years. Taryn?
All right, we'll have to see what happens then in April. Until then, though, thank you so much, Charlie, and we will talk to you again at 6.